Welcome to my website. It's Chicago Architecture History. The intent of it was really just to show some of the history from Chicago and how its architectural trends have shaped not just the city, the US, and even across the world. So as you navigate to the homepage, you get a little bit of a blurb about what this website is about. At the bottom, you can see that there is a tech block linked here. Additionally, my contact information is down at the bottom, and the last time that the website was updated, in this case, it was September 11th, and that will continue to change as more revisions are made. So as you navigate through the web page, you'll see that there's a section about me, a little bit of history of how I got here, and really my intent with this program. And a little bit more about me, go Cubs, and also I love my dog, Edison. So navigating back up to the top, clicking on resources. In the resources page, you'll be able to see just some, I guess, links, sites that I found to be really interesting and useful for architecture. So going through U.S. Modernist, Maxwell, and Halstead, which is a great website for local history. And it's actually managed by the University of Illinois in Chicago, so it's actually really, really great. And then also, yeah, the Chicago History Resources.org, another awesome website here. Okay, so going back to the top again, to click on more on Chicago. These are just some local, I guess, tidbits about the city done through NPR. So the swinging times of Chicago's revolving doors. I didn't realize that it was a big thing here in Chicago, but yeah, with all the skyscrapers that the city has, these doors were actually implemented, and they're still highly used. There's also another really awesome story that NPR did, talking about the stories behind the CTA lines. And for those not here in Chicago, all of the city's trains, public transportation, are on elevated tracks, so they go above the city. This one's also about the movable bridges. Yeah, so this is just more coverage done here in Chicago, but equally as important. Not necessarily about the architecture itself, but some history on it. So as we go into the tech projects, these are just some of the projects that I have done through this class. So starting with the top one, digital story. This is a recently finished product talking about Rene Magritte. And so why he was chosen for this digital story is that, I think this quote is actually probably the best way to describe it, is saying that he's the most lucid thinker of modern art, just generally speaking. His work is monumental for the understanding of the human condition in regard to the perception of the environment, natural as well as artificial. So all of that is to say that his art challenged the human condition into what we perceive. And as you go through this digital story, you'll be able to see that, yeah, his art is very challenging to what you are seeing. And a lot of Chicago's history and a lot of Chicago's architecture will do that as well. So the next tech project here is educational apps. This is a review of Evernote. And Evernote is a note-taking app. So this project really just went into depth about all the pros and cons of the app itself. So definitely check this out. For PLN, this was actually really something that was awesome to me. I had just personally never heard of PLE or PLN until this class, so it was challenging in trying to understand its purpose, but also great because obviously I just fell in love with it. So and as you can see, the website, well, I talk about what is a PLE, and I try to find a definition and explanation that was simple enough for anybody to understand. And this is the one that I picked because it helped me understand it a little bit better, right? So with PLE, just a personal learning environment. And as you can see here, I go through. These are all the ones that I currently use based on my job in startup world, so in tech. Um, and then also talking about what is a PLN. And down here, I go through a reflection of blogs talking about. This one was about, here, we can check it out, being an innovative educator. So it's really great. And then curation. Here's my other review for Digo. And then finally talking about Twitter. And there you go, easily accessible. And then finally for projects, the website evaluation. This was actually really cool to be able to go into a previously existing website, which was digitalhistory.uh.edu, and just talking about like seeing what is the purpose of this site. And so to me, this was great because I never really approached looking at a website from this lens, from this point of view, and trying to really figure out its credibility, right? So as a teacher, how will you vet a website and figure out if this is a great resource for your students? And so yeah, going through this process was great. Just to be able to take a couple steps back and ask yourself these questions about the website. The publishing body is identified for the site. And then I think is just like talking about when was the last revision. So is this constantly updated? Just little things like that might seem insignificant, but actually play a huge and a very important role for students, because you want to make sure that you're providing them with accurate information and not just sending them to websites that are not credible. And that was it for tech projects. Next, evaluations. So Apple Teacher Certification is just, at this point, it's an optional certification, but one that I think I will commit to doing in the future. And then Screencast, it's this. This is what I'm doing. Just going through the like my website. So now for reflection time, I guess, on my website, how I will use it, and what I thought of all of this. And so I plan to continue to use this and provide more resources. Obviously, I think the name might change, and some of the I think little things here and there, styling, I might end up changing, but I think it's valuable in terms of being able to use this as an additional hub of resources for students. And I think overall, I think I loved. I don't think I know that I loved working on this website. It was great to be able to again put on a different hat for once and look at the architecture of my city and think about how do I explain this, how can I convey the importance of it, and what are the resources that I'm able to provide. And like I had said earlier, the PLE PLN part for me, I think, was one of the best parts of this class and this whole project, was just really getting myself to think about, like, what are these, what is my personal learning environment, and what would I like to add on? What are my peers using, etc. So this is really great for me. And then hopefully, if anybody gets a chance to look at this, they find it as useful as I have. And please feel free to reach out and let me know. My contact information is here, and then also feel free to check out my blog, which is Latinx and Ed Tech. I talk about a few things on here, so I will also continue to maintain this from an educational standpoint. Um, this first post is just Latinx and Ed Tech and finding our way. It just talks about really the purpose of this website and my blog is just to talk about like the Latinx community in educational technology and instruction. And so feel free to check it out. So thanks for stopping in and checking us out.